Hello, guys. I'm so excited. We're going to do animal communication today. So we have Linda coming on. Just wait for her to come on. And we're going to go over how to connect to your animals. This is going to be fun. All right, so let me see. Animal communication. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Animal communication is what we're doing today. We have Linda, Hi, Linda. Okay, let me invite you, Linda. Linda, hold on. Here we go. Go live. All right, Linda. So you should just be able to. Hi, Linda.
Hello.
We did it.
Hi. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. I didn't bring my dog. Molly is so rowdy.
Aw, yeah.
To bring their dogs or their animals, anything. Turtles are welcome, everything to be with us. Linda, every time we talk to her, hear all the animals with her.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Dr. Dolittle.
So welcome everybody. This is Linda, actually one of my teachers. I have learned so much from her. I did not really get into animal communication with her because that's not so much my path, but I know that that's like her thing. So I was so excited. She's a shaman, but also an animal communicator. And we're just so excited to have you, Linda. People have been looking forward to this, so we're excited to be here with you. So tell us a little bit about how you started to like discover your gift of animals. Did you always know that you had that, or was that part of like your awakening?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. So I've always been drawn to animals, a huge animal lover my whole life, but I didn't know I was consciously aware of talking with them until about 10 years ago when I started to meditate, and when my horse was sick. He had a chronic illness, which is life-threatening, and I couldn't figure out, we tried everything. We even have to ship him to the hospital, call vet every time. It was like 4 or 5 times a year, huge stress for him and myself. And I'm like, what's it going to take? What can I do to help him? And then I started to, I was introduced to Reiki. And during the Reiki sessions and my own meditation practice, he started to talk with me. And I'm like, what? Really? Are you serious? And this is when he was like 30 minutes away from me at a barn where I was keeping him. And so he made some strange requests, which is him. He's a character. And so I know that it helped build my accuracy and my trust factor in knowing that he responded well to the things that he asked for. Like he asked for a green banana. I mean, what horse asks for a green banana? You know, usually a treat is like an apple or a carrot or a peppermint, but he asked for a green banana. I got this image and I'm like, what is that? And I got the message, this is what I want. I overheard someone telling me that it's good for my tummy. And I'm like, oh, okay. So guess what? 10 years later, that's his favorite treat, is a green banana.
Oh my God. He loves, oh my God, so funny. So we're doing like distance Reiki healing on him.
Yeah, distance and in person. So I was able to transmute the illnesses from him. And on other horses at the barn. Word got around that, okay, we got someone here who can help with this life-threatening thing called colic for horses. And so, yeah, I did it in person and distance. So I really started to tap into the ability to hear him through meditation when I just quieted my mind.
Oh, I see. So then when you're with the animal, like now that you've been doing it longer, like do you connect with them like in person, or it's always through meditation? Is that the best way?
Oh, so most of my sessions are done virtually. I just think of the animal, call out their name, think of the image of them, and go from there and connect with them. So I'm able to tell people, okay, so this dog or this cat has this particular quirk or this quality about them, and they're like, oh yeah, that's them, and I'm like, okay, got him.
Love it. Yeah, I subscribed to your email newsletter, and there was like you wrote this. I forget exactly what it was. Like your stories about like the different animals that you work with are the best. Like those are like my favorite stories to read. You'll have to write a book about them one day because they're just so fun. So I have a good friend that her daughter, who's about 7 years old, is definitely like very connected to animals, and she claims, or she says, that she can communicate with them. So I was wondering if you have like any tips for anybody who maybe has like an inkling that they may be communicating already.
Yeah, definitely. So my tip would be to honor what you're getting. Usually the first thing you get through that comes through is spot on. Avoid letting the mind tweak it and doubt it and throw fear or doubt or anything like that into that. Honor that first thing that comes through. But doing any sort of mindful practice is really going to help you to hone this ability if you are drawn to the animals. You know, many intuitives focus on different things. I actually started as a medium, and I checked in with my spirit guides to say, hey, which way am I going, human or animal? And they said, you got to go with the animals. I'm like, okay.
Ah, nice. So can you share, like, do you have any favorite client stories of any animals that like are just fun stories like, to share?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. So there was this one. So there's a old house. I'm in the Chicago suburbs, and there's an old house on the historical registry in Chicago. And the woman who bought it, she bought it about 6 months and started to have some issues with her two cats. So two cats about the same age. One slept through the night. The other woke her up about every hour. And it didn't matter what she did. Didn't matter, you know, she tried to feed him, tried to, you know, comfort, anything. Nothing was working. So she called me up, and I said to the cat during my communication session, it was over the phone. I said to the cat, so what's going on here? Why are you disturbing your human sleep? You love her. Why are you doing this? And he said, well, take a look around at the home I'm in. And so energetically, I looked through his eyes. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do, where you can jump into their form energetically and view things through their eyes sometimes. And it was a haunted house. And it was full of like hundreds of spirits. And so I did a clearing. I did a home clearing, and oh, it's dimming. And it was oh my gosh, it was a historical home for the Underground Railroad.
Oh my
And
God.
so I had some interesting conversations with the spirits that were there as well. But after that, the woman replied back a couple weeks later. She's like, we have slept soundly through the night for,
Wow. I have
yeah,
goosebumps.
2 weeks. Yeah.
That's amazing. So we can kind of assume that like if our animal is giving us some sort of hi, if Kakuna, that if they're giving us some sort of like issue or a challenge, it's probably because like they're trying to get they don't mean to be like assholes. They're trying to like get through to us or something. So
Right.
it like that's a good time to either try to communicate with them or seek somebody like yourself.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's a reason for their behaviors. You know, there's no coincidences for the intuitive crowd. You know, you know that there's divine timing, and there's a reason why your animal is misbehaving. You know, another case I had was a cat who repeatedly pooed on the bed just all of a sudden, and it just kept going. And so then finally the client called me up and said, can you help? What is this behavior? This is new. This is not unlike them. They're not acting ill. What's going on here? And so I talked with the cat. The cat had a message to relay to the humans. They can be our teachers, you know? So the cat had a, you know, something to say about what was going on in the house, and the cat wanted to be heard.
And
And so
trying
the
to
cat was getting the attention that way. So I, as a communicator, spoke for the animal to say, you know, hey, this is what the animal thinks about this or that situation. So yeah, connecting with me, I can give them a voice to help them.
right, like a translator. It's fascinating. So another question I was getting yesterday on my live, because I was telling people we were going to do this, was the question about like, can our animals be our soulmates? Like, are they from our soul like pod, our soul family, and can they come? Are they like coming in as animal form for us? Like, are they people? Are they beings that maybe we've lived with before?
Yeah, in my experience with speaking to thousands of different animals over the 10 years that I've been doing this, I do see a lot of soul connections. You can call it soul tribe, soul family, pod, whatever you want, but we are in alignment with certain souls. And they can come in any form. They can come to be with us in human form or in animal form or even in plant form.
Yeah.
So they help us along our journey, and they show us and they guide us, or they support us and love us. That's why
Yes,
they're in our
definitely.
lives.
I'm sure everybody here can like relate. I mean, I had a dog, Foxy, who you heard me talk about her when we were working together. And I had Foxy came into my life when right before I went through like a really hard breakup. Like so she came like right before that time, and she was with me all like until I had my third child, and she passed about a year ago. And I was not expecting her at all. Like she just showed up in my life. And I don't think I do still feel a little like guilt sometimes because I don't feel like I was super aware of like what she came for or like how much love she was giving me. I almost like took her for granted a little bit. But like it's just so fascinating how these animals like find us in many ways, and like we think we're taking care of them, but they're actually like taking care of us in many ways.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It doesn't serve you to hold on to any guilt. And I'm sure she doesn't have any ill feelings towards you. I think she appreciates you. But I mean, the little that I spoke with her when you told me about her like a year ago, she said, I came to help her and to support her and to help her with boundaries. So,
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. And I'm still, I use a joke, because it's true how like the animals kind of like mirror a lot of the things that are a little off with ourselves. And Foxy was like a very super attached to me, very like codependent on me, basically. And once I started, and I just thought that was her personality because I would just, I didn't know any better. And then once I started raising kids, and then my dad one day was like, you obviously raise kind of needy kids. And I was like, damn it, I do. And like, Foxy was trying to teach me that early on, but I never really caught it. And then, of course, like towards the end, I started switching it. But it was just so interesting how she was mirroring that to me. So that was so funny. Alicia, who just joined, Alicia, I was just talking about your daughter having a special connection to animals. So Linda was saying that she is usually doing it through meditation. It seems like her daughter, who's 7, is kind of is kind of like just like looking at the animal and being able to understand the animal. So she's trying to figure out how she can hone that skill with her. But I know that you teach animal communication. Like you have a workshop, right? And what do you teach in the workshop?
yeah. So I teach them the skills and the techniques to tap into that ability, but then also how to overcome some of the doubt and the fear and trust that you're getting the right messages. But I go through step by step how to access the information. And children are really open to the spirit world from birth to about the age of 8 or 10 or so, especially if it's cultivated in the home. If it's not, then they kind of close off, or if they don't have support, they do close off a little bit. And I know that happened to me personally. I didn't start to open until I felt confident that I had teachers and guides and connections to the spirit world. So if you can cultivate it, yes, by all means, accept what she's telling you about the animals and ask her to tell you more about what they're saying. So cultivate that process for her. I mean, yeah, I can be walking around and getting messages from the animals, and most of us can do that, whether we're consciously aware of it. That's the difference. So I would say, yeah, cultivate it as much as you can, and acknowledge it. My daughter, she came off the school bus once, I think it was kindergarten, and she's walking like this. She's got her hand like this, and I go, what are you doing? Why is your hand like that? And she's like, oh, I'm walking my dragon. And I go, oh, okay, that's cool. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. So
That's the cutest
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So she was in her dragon phase. So yeah, just cultivate
That's
it
like
and
all of our
support you.
middle, and always like, and it just sounds like, making her know that it's that it's okay and it's real, and she'll develop it with time as like her mom says okay. So that brings me to my next question, talking about the dragon. Um, do you have any experience with spirit animals? Like, what can you explain what that is, which is different than our human animals? But how can, so people were just asking, like, how can we work with spirit animals, and what is it really?
Yeah, definitely. So the way that I perceive it, and that's where I'm coming from when I talk about this, my perception is spirit animals or guides are animal form, but there are spirit guides, but they come to us in animal form. So they have the attributes of particular animals. So like, let's say snake. Let's say you've got a power animal or spirit animal as a snake. You're probably a healer. You probably are pretty good about shedding things that don't serve you anymore, because the snake sheds their skin. And depending on what kind of snake, whether it's a rattlesnake or a boa constrictor, maybe you give a warning before you strike. You rattle, you give a warning, versus a boa constrictor that can be very subtle and coy before they approach. So you'll have some of those attributes and some of those qualities about you if they are your particular spirit animal.
And you can like call in animals, I'm guessing, as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's something I do in my healing practice. I call in particular power animals for people to help them with where they are in their life. Like, I was going through a divorce 6 years ago, and I got some new power animals to help me through that time. And I don't have them as closely energetically to me right now, but I do have some spirit animals that have been with me my whole life. So sometimes they come and go, sometimes they stay the whole lifetime.
And do you see them in meditation, or do sometimes you see like some physical, representation of them, and that's how you know they're with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Both. Sometimes in meditation or when I'm in a shamanic journey, they're visible, but there's also ways that they'll present themselves here on the earth, either in physical form or via a word or a sighting, or if you have a strong affinity towards a particular animal, it's probably in your totem. Also, if you have a strong dislike for an animal, it's probably in your totem as well, inviting you to embrace, maybe that inner serpent or spider or whatever.
Yeah, those qualities. Yeah, I remember when we first started working together, I was like I still am very fast and always moving fast. And I feel like you told me, you're like, okay, I'm going to gift you an animal. And I'm like, owl, or like, something. I'm like, give me something cool, Lindsay. Give me something cool. And you're like, I'm going to give you an elephant. I'm like, an elephant? You're like, because it's going to help you go, or like a turtle or something slow. I think it might have been a turtle. I was like, is it a sea turtle or like a slow turtle? Like, I think it's just a land turtle, like a slow turtle.
Yeah, a tortoise. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Can I give you the turtle back? The tortoise back?
But the turtle energy has helped you, because you can go deeper into your work when you slow down.
Yeah, it changed everything for me. It was just, but I was not what I wanted. No, but yes. Linda, we have a question here. So we had somebody who their dog ran away about a year ago, and she says that she misses him and loves him, and she still like misses him every day. So do you ever see that in your practice, like an animal kind of run away, and sometimes you just can't get them back?
Yeah. Lost animals are a very small portion of what I help with. For the most part, I help with behavior issues, training issues, health issues and concerns. I've seen bleeding ulcers within a dog, and they took the dog to the vet after hearing my discovery, and sure enough, the MRI or ultrasound, I don't remember which one, verified that, yeah, there were 3 bleeding ulcers in this poor dog. And so they were able to change the medicine that was causing the illness or the ulcers, and he's doing much better. And deciding that end of life choice, the transition time is something else that I consult with people on to help their animals. lost and missing animals is something that again, it's a small portion of my practice, but I will do it from time to time. Certainly speaking to the animals who have transitioned is another big part of my work, to help give people some of those loving messages as they go through the grieving process. Even, you know, a couple weeks afterwards, or from years afterwards, even people will consult with me to see, how is he doing?
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes when I do readings, I actually see I see their animals like around them. So I'm sure you see that too, and it's just really beautiful. It happens.
It is. It is. They never really leave us. They do come around, you know, in our dreams or on a daily basis. Yeah.
Yeah. Still feel Foxy with me for certain reasons. So funny story about Foxy. She got lost. She didn't really mean to run away twice. And the first time, you know, we went all out, a miracle God, we found her. And then the second time, one of our neighbors caught her on camera, that some guy saw her walking down the street, stopped the car, and picked her up. And, you know, I was like, this is great footage. I am going to send this to the local news stations and let them like have a field day with this. And maybe I can find Foxy, because she's a house dog and she was old at that time. She didn't know she like left the house. I have 3 children. She's so little. It was hard to even like notice her when she was gone. And it was funny, during that time, I was trying to get press in my company. Like I was like really working on like, okay, getting the word out about what I did. And Foxy gets lost, and she is on 3 news stations. I had the Spanish news stations like knocking down my door, like trying to get an interview about they posted as like dog lost, friend or foe, and she went viral on. Finally, what happened was that the guy's like grandmother was watching Telemundo and was like, "Oye, mijo, that dog you took belongs to somebody and it's on the news." And like 3 days later, she was returned to me, and I, you know, was scared because somebody picked her up, and I was like, I'm never gonna. And she's a cute little dog. I was like, I'm never gonna see her again. But it was so funny because it was like this lesson for me, like how easy it was to get pressed for her, and it was just something that I was like learning in my own business. So it was just hilarious. I mean,
yeah.
It was.
Oh, that's great.
So Chelsea is saying, I think my cat guards our house at night from negative spirits. He's like a little protective sphinx, is what she says. Feels that.
Yeah, they will do that.
Emily, it sounds like you should definitely have a session with Linda, which I'll link to. She's the one that her dog lost, and she just wants to know if it's alive, or you know how it's doing. So Emily, I'll connect you with Linda for sure. Lee, I have a panther guide. I woke up once, looked at my hand, and it was black, silky, like a panther. What would that mean?
Oh, okay. Well, panther means maybe you've got to camouflage a little bit and be a little more stealth with something in your life, with whatever was going on at that time. So, you know, maybe be more watchful than assertive, at least for that time, and then pounce when the opportunity feels right to do so. Right.
So we have to think about the different attributes of that animal, and that's kind of how we.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
When Ethan, our youngest, when I was pregnant, I was shopping for some artwork and things like that for his nursery, and I found this painting of a fox, and I was like, this is for Ethan. I don't know why. And I was like, this is like his little spirit animal. And I always think like Ethan's our little fox. What would you say is a fox, Linda?
Well, the fact that you have mentioned fox now twice in this message, I think definitely those of us who are participating and watching probably need to bring in some of that fox energy a little bit more. So maybe being a little sly, but yet, you know, having fun and pouncing around, you know, and taking life maybe not so seriously.
For sure. That's always like the name of the game for me. Ruhina says, can you also communicate information to the animal if you want to understand something?
Yeah, definitely. So we have free will, so I can't really change an animal's behavior, but I can educate and collaborate with the human and the animal to say, hey, maybe if like the cat pooing on the bed, maybe if you stop pooing on the bed, your humans would be more happy with you and you'd get more playtime or whatever it may be. And, so why are you doing that? So I try to get to the root of the issue and find out what they're trying to say, just giving them that voice.
Yeah, and we can't. So, for instance, like with Molly, our new dog, who's a year old, she has a lot of energy, and that's one of the reasons she came into the family, to help the family stay active and stay together, and that's definitely part of her purpose. So I walk her in the morning. I take her for a run in the morning, but by the afternoon, she's ready, and the kids don't always do a great job of like playing with her. So she has all this pent up energy, and it's not like I can communicate with her and say like, hey, start relaxing, because the truth is her purpose is to move the family around. So, we at the same time, like, we can communicate some things, but it has to be in alignment, like with the soul's purpose and with what the meaning, like why they've come into your family, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, guys, for Linda? This is so fun, Linda. I'm just looking at all the questions.
It is.
So tell me a little bit, when I know your program like opens and closes, and now it's an open time, right? Or
it's
going to
open.
be?
Yeah. So I teach virtually twice a year, and I've got a free webinar as an introduction to the course, so you get a sample of what the course is going to be like. And so the free webinar is on the 22nd, but I also have alternative dates, and all that information is on my website. But the course is really cool because it's virtual, and then we meet via Zoom outside of that recorded virtual program, where you can practice live with your own animals. So you're going to get animal readings for your own animals, because we practice on our own animals.
You guys, Linda's so talented. A lot of my work is because of her. So if you guys
Thank you.
And beyond animal communication, she does amazing healings, like life-changing healings.
Thank you.
Live healings, soul retrieval, which has been coming up a lot for people. She does, which is like, the only person I would trust with the soul retrieval. And she's so detailed. So if you feel called to her, and I feel like, when you work with Linda, you're not going to work with her just once. You'll do several things. She teaches so many cool different things, and she's just like a pro and an expert with everything. It's so detailed. So highly recommend her course. I will link to that, and I will link to her as well. With Linda. So now that they see you getting ready to head out, more questions.
Yeah.
Sarah is asking, any experience helping cats not wake up their humans super early just for food?
Yeah, I'd like to know that one. No, what I've done with my own cats is I have dogs and cats and a horse. What I've done with my cats is I talk with them. I negotiated. So I let them know, hey, on the weekends, I'd like to sleep in just an extra hour. So could you not bother me until, like this particular time? And you'd be surprised. They know how to tell time. You give them a number and they will get it. Okay, so they're smarter than you think. So usually that happens, but you can negotiate anything. So you can talk with them, and the animals read our minds. So you could negotiate something with, well, how about you just wake me up with like a cuddle, or instead of pouncing on me, or instead of meowing, can we do it in a softer way? Or, do I need to feed you just a little bit more before going to bed to tide you over? So, see if you can negotiate and work that out.
They might need.
Yeah.
Zena is saying, I love, first of all, your dog's name is Piggy. Like, that's the cutest. I love people's animals' names. Oh, yeah. You definitely have to sign up for Linda's course. Yes, great thoughts. That's so funny because Molly, so I take Molly out like at 5:30 in the morning, which is obviously like, it's fine for during the week. It's the time I start exercising, but on the weekends, not super fun. So I'm going to try that and see if I'm not going to take her out for a run at 5:30 in the morning on the weekend. So I'll see if she'll work with me there. That's so funny. All right, guys. So fun, Linda. We enjoyed it so much. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very passionate about it because, it, it's hard to go through life without being heard, and I can relate to that. I was a very quiet child growing up, and I guess I was afraid to speak up. And so for me to now give voice to the animals who we can't, quote unquote, hear, it's just so fulfilling for me. So I love helping people to know what their animals are thinking, and how they can help them on their life's journey.
I know, I love that. It's so true. It's beautiful. It's like, it's like the last thing we need. We just want to be able to communicate with them, and that they don't always have a voice. And it can cause so much, like, unhappiness within the house if we're not able to, like, it's a relationship like any other. So it's an important
Yeah.
important thing. So if you're having issue, guys, check out Linda's work. And if you want to do it yourself and just be able to have regular communication with your animals, definitely Linda's program. So Linda, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you,
Obviously
Nikki.
for everything that you do for me, but for being here with us today and for your work.
Yes, thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Nikki. I really appreciate seeing you, and
You're welcome.
have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. So I'll link to Linda's work, and if you have any questions, just DM me or DM Linda. She's on Instagram, but I think I might be a little more active on Instagram than Linda is, so just reach out to me if you need something, and I'll connect.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you, and good
Thanks. Bye.
night.